BLASTMUSIC247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl Melikia K. Courtney, how are you? Welcome to SXP MetaMorphosis 365, your growth podcast. Out of the gate, we're going to begin like we always begin. It's a gratitude fest up in here. So thank you to Sunshine Cromwell, who is of Shine Vibrations. That happens right on BLAST Music247 channel on YouTube every Friday at 7 p.m. If you haven't checked that out, go back and check it out. The reason I insist on giving her thanks and super huge thanks is because she's the reason that I said yes to podcasting and stop running, because I ain't wanna, but I wanna. So I'm doing it and I'm being obedient. How about that? Okay, so thank you for that. And I'm also going to share this with you real quick. I'm going to insist that you go over, actually touch the button. If you are on Melikia K. Courtney's YouTube channel, subscribe. And here you go. Let's share this. This QR code goes to BLASTMUSIC247. I share that, one, and thanks to they've given me a fun place to podcast through as well. So I go live through Melikia K. Courtney on YouTube, go live through BLAST Music247. You can find it all those places. If you want to binge, go to Melikia K. Courtney and binge all the episodes. This QR code is going to take you to BLAST Music247. You want to go there for two reasons. I don't know what you want to do. One, to register as a fan and enjoy all of the wonderful indie music over there. Get tapped in with the magazine, plug in, play. Two, if you are an artist and you'd like to have some musical exposure, like you'll see later on in the show, you definitely want to go and register as an artist over there. Okay, so that's two, that's your chance, and let's get to it. Oh, let's go back over here and get this. I saw red buttons pop up. Hey, how are you? What's going on, partner? And hey, Brody Cat, how are you? That name is so cute. Oh my gosh, isn't that cute? Okay, so this be part two. Last week we started off the series of Teach Me How to Love and kind of had a framework conversation. If you did not catch that conversation, I already mentioned the R word, replay. You want to go back and tap into that, and then go ahead and let's succeed into this one. This go around, we are really going to tie into some do's because I felt it fair. Like, one, we need to have the conversation. We learned what we learned from who we learned it from. And sometimes those examples may not have been the best. But for those of us who are adult, and let's frame adult, if you've hit that 18 mark, that 21 mark, that 30 mark, that 40 mark, that 50 mark, and you are still having the same conversations from 1906 when this person or that person didn't show up for you, didn't XYZ for you. Okay, I'm not going to shoot, but what I am going to do is encourage. I'm going to encourage you to sit down and face it and finally deal with it so that you can have peace and put some of that stuff to rest. Like, give you a rest, give your mind a place to rest, give your heart a place to rest. We talked about loving self as well in that. And I encourage everyone to pause a minute and consider what it would be like to love yourself first. I'm not saying be a selfish human or not be responsible, none of the above. What I am saying is, when you do a better job of loving you, you're going to do a better job of loving those around you. So I'm always after something. I'm after a better you. Okay, great. So with that, I'm going to touch on a couple of these, and then we're going to pause for station breaks and all that good stuff. And then we are going to come back. All right, ping pong. One, it is important to model the love that you want to receive. I know that could be daunting. I get that, because many of us have not stopped to consider how we want to be loved. Like, how do you wish to be loved? Have you had that conversation with the people around you? I am a person who absolutely needs quiet. at times. Boy, and trust me, believe it, I got noise in me. I love a good playtime, a good runabout, a good be outside, like be outside. At the same time, there are times where the world has to sit still and be quiet. Like it's not even an option for me. Like it's a no. So I've let the people around me know, hey, listen, when I am in these zones, I'm not talking to you. I have nothing to say to you. I have nothing to say to you, and I have nothing to hear from you. And there's no difference in my love. It has not increased. It hasn't diminished. It's nothing to do with that. It is simply the love for me. I need that time to recharge. I need that time to clean up spiritually. And when I'm doing that, trying to divest the interest and focus in 17 ways, nah, ain't gonna work. So that is one of the ways I communicate. I'm going to be quiet. I am an author. When I am writing, I let the folks know, hey, listen, I'm going to be writing. I'm in the chair for 4 hours today. I'm in the chair for 6 hours today, whatever it's going to be. And this way, that communication, and I'm offering you simple things. These are simple means of communication. Something as simple as saying, hey, I don't like this. That's not funny to me. All right. Or this is overwhelming. Hey, you pushing boundaries and you're not paying attention and it's pissing me off. Before you get pissed off, how about you say, hold up, allow me to share this. This speaks love to me. This speaks disrespect. Something as simple as that. This speaks respect or disrespect, if you want to take it to that lens. Okay. So I encourage you, right where you at, where you find yourself, meet you there. You hear folks say, meet people where they're at. Well, meet you where you are. No need in condemning. No need in fear or shame. No room for that unless you make room for it. This is that conversation that helps to build and improve you. And improving your language is what you will do when you sit down to pin it. Hey, listen, this is the language. This is how I love me. This is not me not loving you, but this is definitely me loving me. And if someone chooses to feel unloved because you're taking time to love you, that's something that they're going to have to work out. You can help if you are so inclined with understanding and clarity, but not bending and not breaking you. So set some boundaries and some rules for you and model. Okay, so that's the communication of it. That's one way of modeling how you wish to receive love. Do you like flowers? I have a daughter who cannot stand flowers, or she'd be big mad. Now, mind you, she loves to see flowers, but she's big mad if you cut them and come bringing them to present to her. It is not a gift to her. It is an offense. So what would I look like trying to take her flowers? Knowing that she's already made it clear, this does not move me. It offends me. It makes me sad because all these beautiful flowers, she feels how she feels. And I respect it. What a beautiful heart. So I would not do that. All right. But I wouldn't know that if she hadn't opened her mouth and said something. Okay. So the communication is very, very valuable. There are times where the verbal communication, there are times where communication comes in other forms. All right. So, but I'm a high proponent of verbal because many people lack the social cue training. We have all been reared where we were reared, like our parents or grandparents or our caregivers taught in the manner in which they taught. That does not inherently mean that the people that you grow up and meet and collect among your friends and your loves and lovers are going to move or understand in the same way. They may not get that social cue when you go quiet. They may not know what for. It may be perceived as you're angry or you're aggressing. So I am a high proponent of opening your mouth, being verbal with your communication and saying, I do not like this, or I will not tolerate that, or I absolutely love this. Thank you. Thank you is definitely the encouraging words. Thank you. You are letting someone know this is wonderful. This is a thank you, a big, big thank you for your heart or your help or your presence and presence too, I guess that too. So be mindful of how you model the love you wish to receive. Let's go into the silent communications, the nonverbals. How you gesture, how you move about. Ooh, let's take it into the house. How you clean. Are you cleaning with resentment? Are you slamming stuff or being sloppy, doing it any kind of way? Or are you moving in integrity? See yourself. Grab that mirror. And I'm having this conversation with you with this one way shut up to kind of provoke and to move the trees for you so that you can tune in and take a look. Because we're living our lives, lots of distractions, lots of busy, lots of things on the calendar and consumption of hours. So maybe we forget sometimes to look at ourselves and see how we're behaving. And my passive aggressive people, you know who you are. Be honest about who you are. People pleaser people, you know who you are. Be honest about who you are. A-holes from the gate, you know who you are. Be honest about who you are and make room. We talked about grace last week. I think I shared that piece, Where's Your Grace? And that is a huge part. Where is your grace? Where is your mind? All of that pours into your non-verbal communication. Do we get that? Do you know that when you walk in the room? And here's a tip cue for those who are in my space or enjoy life with me, that I enjoy life with. You have about less than 3 seconds. There's less than 3 seconds before the face changes. And I've already cued. I'm already knowing. And I'm not the only one. So there are many people like me who are that intuitive. Less than 3 seconds, sweetheart. We know what it is. All right? I mean, I have all the words and all the details, but we know what it is. So do you understand that whatever you're thinking and whatever you're emoting towards whoever that person is, even if they don't pinpoint the words, even if they're not gathering it quickly, it is registering with their spirit. All right. So that's just a heads up. That's a little something on the side. I'm going to share that, but that's just the truth. So be mindful of you. If you are modeling angst, anxiety, fear, if you are harboring ill, unforgiveness, or if you feel that being rude is a true way to behave, that's interesting. We're going to let you deal with your interests. Okay. So this is someone kindly and gently saying to you, please grab a mirror and have a look at your behavior. Listen in on yourself. What are you thinking? Because your thoughts are behaving with or without you. Number 2, communicating with clarity and calm. I have had this conversation over the years. I've had this conversation a lot, loves, and I cannot say that I have always communicated calmly. And no. And after not communicating calmly, thank God, Sovereign Divine insisted that I sit and look. Hey, what did you just do? What did you just say? And did you mean all of what you said? And if you did, let's talk about XYZ. I offer you that moment for those who got it in them and got it on them. Fork tongue, Southside Chicago. Trust it. It's in there. So I take extra measures, especially when it's something to do with love in a heart and I need to communicate. I do my best to communicate with clarity and calm. And here's the fun part. I've grown to the point where if I'm going to cut up, I could pretty much telegraph it and I can verbalize it. Hey, listen, I'm about to do X, Y, Z, and this is why I'm doing it. And I am not saying that it's sensible all the time. It's just not. All right. So there's still room for growth. And at the same time, leaps and bounds down the road. So I encourage you in the same manner. Consider how you communicate, especially when it's things that irritate your soul. Are you able to let a person know before it gets to the point where it's grating against your nerves, where you know you are about to switch up fingers? It won't be index no more. You're going to be moving down the road. before it gets to that, can you choose to, and the answer is yes, but can you choose to communicate with some clarity and calm? And this is the key. If you're upset, you are not going to communicate with clarity. You're just not, because you're mad. There are many warring things going on in your body. You're mad, and there's nothing wrong with being mad. But here's the wisdom for you. Do you really want to have a conversation with someone that you love, or even with yourself, when you're mad? Does it not behoove you to take a minute? Can you not take a couple of minutes and think about what you're feeling? Think about what you're about to say before you bleh. Can you communicate with calm? Is it a part of your nature? Have you figured that out yet? And I do understand that there are some of us, hallelujah, who took a while to understand it, and some just ain't wired that way. They want to explode and then they want to clean up. But consider the damage your grenade just created, and the mess that, and the pieces of the person that you have to put back together, including yourself. So can we consider that, at least the verbal communication, very, very key. Take it out loud. Also pay attention to your nonverbal cues. That was all in one. Bring it into communicating calmly and with clarity. To communicate with clarity, you need to know what you want to say. What am I feeling? What do I need? What do I desire? What do I require? Can you answer that? All right. And that's a self conversation. The game is always self first. What do I need? What do I desire? What do I require? All right. Love grows in light, not confusion. That is a straight up quote. It does. It grows in light, not in confusion. So if you just mad, and again, I already hit the bar on the ages. If you over 18, game over. If you over 30, knock it off. If you over 40, you need to tail whooped. And if you're 50 and still acting like that, you just want a revenge conversation. You want to be spiteful. You want to be a petty human. You enjoy that. Then I'm going to offend you on this podcast every chance I get, because I call you to mature. And that's beyond childish behavior. At some point, the adult has to stand up in you. At some point, that small child who is hurting and who has been offended and who has the guardrails up and all of the bricks and the rocks ready to throw needs a break from that laborious life, which means that the onus is on you to sit inside of you and do you work and love that inner baby, love that inner self, and love you enough to learn how to communicate with some clarity and some calm about you. One thing my mama taught me, I can communicate some things very, 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 very quietly. And I absolutely mean them. And I've grown to the point and exercised and learned, like literally went about the business of learning to be concise in my speech and say exactly what I mean, so that there is little room for error. And it is wonderful when you have a person in your life like that, because you can get some true communication done if you are choosing to be a person like that. How about that? All right. So love grows in light, not confusion. Gently expressing what love means to you, what makes you feel safe, and what helps you feel connected. That's going to help people understand your boundaries. That's going to help people understand your needs and your desires, all right, and what you require, without making them feel small, because this is not that. We covered that. Or feel like they don't know. You know, you just don't know. You just don't know. I've had some conversations with some of the young women that I've mentored and clients over the years. And here is a repetitive theme. He should know. And even with my gents, she should know. Why? Why should he know? Why should she know? Now, I get it. Some folks, you would think that this is common knowledge, but clearly it isn't. Clearly it isn't. Okay. And so if you choose relationship, and I am talking the span of relationship, whether it is familial, friends that you've chosen to be family, in the confines of love, romantic relationships, professional relationships, why bother assuming someone knows? Get it? You can take the time to understand what it is that you need, desire, require. You can take the time to formulate those words so that when, because this is not an if situation, this is a when the moment arises that would require of you to speak calmly and say what you mean. And you can do that because you're clear, you're ready. All right. All about the preparation, all about the preparation 3. I am doing good on time. Ooh, ooh. All right. This might be hard, y'all. This might be hard. And we are having the second part 2 conversation of Teach Me How to Love. Celebrate the efforts, not just perfection. Celebrate the efforts, not just perfection. Now, here is the line that you may find yourself dancing on. It is that sometimes folks are working, they're making good effort to be what you need, be what you require, be what you desire. Okay. In that confines of whatever relationship you find yourself in. Okay. And in your eyes, they may be falling on their face and falling on their butt. And you may be like, okay, this sucks. And that person sucks. And all this sucks. Got it. But are you even able to recognize the effort? And if you are able to recognize the effort, can you praise it? Or is that beaten out of you? Or have you never built it into you? Have you figured out how to say thank you? The simplest set of 2 words. Thank you, Matt, real quick. Don't hurt it all. And here's the ones that may hurt. I'm sorry. Simple. And consider these reminders. A lot of this you may have touched on and know. I ask you to suspend your knower, the knower that knows it all. Because clearly if we're having this conversation, it's time for you to hear it again and revisit it. All right. Celebrate the effort, not just the perfection. Love is a practice, not a performance. Got it? Practice. Consider doctors. Practice. Consider the athletes that we love to follow around and see the magic they do on the field or the court or wherever they find themselves. This is a practice. Relationships are a practice. Love, active and alive, it's for practice. You got to make those efforts. And part of those efforts literally are being able to celebrate. Here's the truth. A lot of people, when they get to be an adult, couldn't wait to get to be an adult. But then we got to be an adult, your smile went away. Your imagination dried up and the robot began living. Well, give the robot a break. Love takes work. It takes passion. It takes you to be on deck with that. You can do it without paying attention. You could do it without learning. You could do it without an integral effort. You know what I mean? But why would you? And I guess that's the conversation that we're having today. So let me run back real quick for the top 3. Model the love that you wish to receive. Do not let it be an option. And here's your point of decision. Do you care to be someone who takes that time with himself? Or are you still running from you? Because really that's like the preceding question to this action. If you're still running from you, if you're still not taking time to understand you and who you are and what you need, what you desire, what you require, but you're showing up with expectation and misunderstanding that everybody's just going to figure it out and no, good luck. We could do better. Like, come on back, we can do better. Model the love you wish to receive. Golden rule, treat other people how you want them to treat you. Like literally, you want somebody treating you well, model it, treat them well. And we have had plenty of times to be a petty human. And for those who don't know, I took a class. I literally took a year to learn how to be petty because I couldn't understand, like, why are people so petty? Where is the joy in that? What is the purpose? I just wanted to understand the mindset. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go find out because I'm a researcher to my heart and I'm going to go immerse myself and let's figure it out. Okay, I can see how funny some things can be and the jokes and the oh my God, but it ain't my heart. You know what I mean? Like I have a quick wit and a forked tongue already. And learning that gave me a whole new lens, but I also understood it is a place of guarding. It is a place of dropping the shield to stab and then go back and hide. You know, and so I share that to pose that same freaking question. Are you hiding from who you are? Or are you able to comfortably sit and look at yourself? And when you look at yourself, are you living in the love that you really want to be? Like, are you giving out the love that you really want to receive? Or are you giving out quite something else something other than being loving, something other than modeling love, something other than communicating calmly with clarity, or something other than celebrating effort. You're giving out all of that something other, but you're fully expecting the seeds of love to be modeled towards you, the seeds of communication and calm to be modeled towards you, celebrating. You want somebody to celebrate your effort. Well, I tried, I'm doing this, and this, that, and the third, but you can't do that for nobody else. All right. If you say so, if you say so. So this is the adult conversation. This is Big Sis saying, hey, come sit in the chair. Love you, but let's talk about it, right? Like, let's be honest about who we are and who we've been. And it's no condemnation in it. I got no hell or heaven to stick nobody in. I am simply here to be a reminder for you. I am simply here to be your sis and to help guide you in that proper direction and restore the balance of love, because it feels like, and that's what kicked off the whole series, I'm paying attention to the world around, and the things that I'm seeing are deplorable. And a lot of folks running around with MAGA this and MAGA that, and telling me how much they love God, but at the same time, in the same breath, supporting death and death ideas and death ideals, but still waving a flag that's on fire. So it's interesting. It gets interesting real fast. And I call you to love. Period. I call you to love. All right. So I shared those first three. Like I said, gonna share a few. We're gonna hop to these announcements, and then we'll be back. So I get to push these magical buttons. When I mentioned to you earlier to go register as an artist over here, boop, QR code ready. This is one of the reasons, because I get to share some of the music from the artists right here. Let's go. Absolutely. That's Michael Soul, Toronto Lullaby. And to my partner who insists on rats, and knock it off. Knock it off. All right. So this is your opportunity to go and do your following. I would like for you to go to Melikia K Courtney if you're not watching from there and subscribe so you can participate in not only this podcast, SXP MetaMorphosis 365, but also check out the playlist. Melikia K Courtney is Lady Molotov. And follow BLASTMUSIC247.com so that you can connect, have your music played like Michael Soul just did. Beautiful song, right? I love that voice. Oh my God, beautiful voice. And literally lingering lullaby is kind of how it feels for me. It's so pretty. All right, so you two can have your music shared. Let's go. I have a few more things to share with you, and I'm going to play this for you just for a few seconds to give you enough time to go follow. That is how you build your discipline. And your discipline is what will carry you throughout the year. Think of your folks who are into martial arts. It is a discipline. Think of your folks who meditate like I do. It is a discipline. It is such a discipline, such a practice that I can move quickly into it. I can move quickly into state because I practice. Think of doctors. They practice. It is not an exact science, but we practice, right? And we build our discipline and we continue to learn and to grow. So this is what I am saying when it comes to habits. Why is it important? Okay. That was your quick. So you can push all the buttons that you need to push. And I'm going to share something else with you in just a little bit. But I will remind you again, I am Melikia K. Courtney. Plastered on the screen. I'm the founder of Sanctuary Experience, which is an incredible company. And I remember when I was standing in that bathroom in Union Station, sweating bullets, thinking that I was about to be next because a racist police officer came in the women's bathroom, and yes, it was a man, and decided that he needed to pull his gun on me, and decided that you people, literally you people, out his mouth and in his behavior, needs to be terrorized. Okay. But as you see, I'm still here. I'm alive to tell the story. Bless God. I did not end up on a shirt with hashtag PNY Black. Didn't occur. And because of that experience, I definitely needed some care. Can you say needed some care? Anxiety, panic attack, stressed out, and in disbelief that in one of my favorite places of all things, in my hometown of all places, to experience such ignorance and racial profiling hatred. Okay. I needed some help. What I looked for was a sisterhood to come around me and to love me back to life. And mind you, got great people in my life, but my folks were spread out. They were just spread out. Okay. Flung out across the globe like the stars. And because of the need and not just knowing my own need, there were a couple of other things that happened with some folks around me. I created Sanctuary Experience to do exactly that, to handle what I needed, desired, and required. All those things were on the table. I needed my sisterhood to come around me. Didn't exist. Y'all, I built it. And not just for me, but for other women just like me who were high achievers, movers and shakers, getting things done, loving people, authors, building communities, educators, like the whole none of that, us. So I built it for us to love us back to life. And speaking of it, September 2nd weekend, we have Sanctuary Experience number 10, the 10th, for 3 whole days. We get together to love on one another. Feed you real good. We do it family style. Grab a big old Airbnb and everybody pile in it. It's been amazing. Amazing to the point that this is number 10. So if you are available and you'd like to participate, let me get to know you. Email me at lifeissanctuaryxp@gmail.com. lifeissanctuaryxp@gmail.com. Let's get in contact and get you registered. The deposits are coming in now. Yes, we keep the space kind of cozy. It's about 16 of us, I think. 2 back and 5 of us the last. So there is room for you still. Get the picture. Come quickly. Okay, so that is to be known. If you are looking for a coach, a certified life coach, or a coach for spiritual ritual disciplines, either one of those, that's me. Okay, let's connect on that. If you're looking for those services, you're going to text COACHME. Simple, all together, one word. Coach Me. You're texting it to 321-443-2495. All right, 321-443-2495, texting Coach Me. And what that does for you is it says to me, hey, I'm serious. I'm looking for a coach. I'm ready to commit, not only with my words, but with the cash behind it. Put my money where my mouth is and my behind in that seat, and let's do this work. Come love me back to life. You'll identify yourself that way, and I will respond. How about that? Me and my team. But we will respond. Get the picture. Okay, so that's the invitation that I extend to you powerfully. And I ask you to powerfully receive it. Don't be a punk about it. Oh my God, I need a sign. Here go your sign. You want to gain the bird sign? That's your sign. Stop playing with God. If you know you need the help, if you know you experienced some trauma that's got you stuck, business begins in the body. If your business is only getting so far and you are stuck, if your attitude is only so far and you are stuck, if that anxiety only lets you get so far before it yoke you back in, come on, come on, come on. I'll see you in September. Okay, so that having been shared, let's get back to this conversation. Gave you 1, 2, and 3. I want to move through the other, and then I have one last thing that I'm going to share toward the end. Whew, this is to be known. Be a mirror, not a judge. Now, when we left off before break, we talked about you being that model, okay, being clear and calm in your conversation. Must. And then we also talked about that room and that grace. Okay. Be a mirror, not a judge. Be a mirror, not a judge. Let your reflection teach, not your rejection. All right. Reject. What do people learn when they're being rejected? They learn a lot of things. You cannot control what they learn. You cannot control what a person takes in and decides is from your behavior. You can only behave. Okay. And my encouragement is to be a mirror. Does that mean, hey, Melikia said, you acting out, I'm fit to act out too. That's not what I'm saying. Don't go over there and do that. Don't make it worse, baby. Don't do it. You can be the mirror of what you like to reflect. All right. And then also there is a method. If you are dealing with, let me give this key. This ain't got nothing to do with what we're teaching, but it has something to do with what we're teaching. Okay. So when you're dealing with an aggressive person and someone who is truly abrasive and they are, and the ones who like the bait, the folks who lay down bait. When you're dealing with folks like that, here is the simplest way to win that. Do not participate. Even as bad as you want to, those quick whipped words that come to mind and to tongue, and you really want to give it to them because they could get it, don't do it. That is the simplest way to win that. Do not take the bait. Do not lose yourself. James Dentley used to say this, and I loved it. And my mama used to say it in a different way. When things are going wrong, don't go with it. So very, very, very simple. I like the way my mama said, don't start, no one be done. Don't start, no one be done. Like literally. And then if there were so many sayings that she gave to us, but that is literally the point. Don't feed foolishness. Let it starve. That's it. Okay, back to business. Be a mirror, not a judge. Let your reflection teach, not your rejection. And yep, I kept my notes so we don't get wandering off. Instead of shaming or blaming when you feel like love has been mishandled, instead of shaming or blaming, you can reflect on your experience. And here's a way to lead in. When that happened, I felt like, okay, this is how I see it. Is this what you meant? This is how I received that. Is that what you were intending to give? Okay. Oh, did I do something to offend you? Did I hurt you? You know, these are conversations that you can lead in with. You need a couple of words. You look upset. Was me? You know what I mean? Like simple, but not in the, oh my God, let me faint and die. Nah. Hey, let's talk. What's going on? Let's get to the center of things, not just the bottom. Let's get to the center of things. All right. That approach, it helps build the awareness rather than the defensiveness. And that's what we're after. You want to build the awareness and that clarity and that communication and not add to the foolishness. We grown, we moving like adults. And because someone does something that you feel is disrespectful does not inherently mean that you need to be disrespectful. You're not at war. You're not at war. So reflect peace. All right. So be a mirror, not a judge. 5. For those who are taking notes, create safe space and vulnerability. Create safe space and vulnerability. Them two go together. They go together. What does that mean? That means that you mirror vulnerability. That means that you are brave enough to say what you need to say. Oh my God, you people who sit back, you people who sit back and wait and fester and burn and boil, all because you do not open your mouth and say, I am hurting. And it may have nothing to do with that relationship. You could be hurting about something completely else, but you're so busy trying to tend to. Let me tend to this person. Let me do this. Let me do that. I love my givers. I love us. Right? And at the same time, you need to receive. All right? Okay. So create that safe space and vulnerability. It'll fold into one another. In order for it to be considered a safe space, everybody has to be allowed to show up. Does this mean you go and piss on the floor in your safe space? No, it does not. Having a safe space does not mean that you are free to do whatever and expect that person to be cool with it. It ain't that. That's not what a safe place is, because you've made it unsafe for the other person. All right. I kid you not, like some of these things may be elementary, but in our doing and our going and our getting, sometimes we forget the ABCs of love. We forget to treat people the way we want to be treated. Sometimes we forget. And then when we are reminded, we could do one or two things. We could be offended or we can embrace. And embracing is that vulnerability. The offended moves more into the offense, and you are now feeding foolery. Let's not do that. All right. So if someone has learned love through pain, abandonment, or chaos, they'll need help rewriting that. So if you are in a relationship with someone who's learned that, they're gonna need some help. It takes some patience, it takes some prayer, it takes some water. Hydrate, because it's a ride. And understand that you a ride too. For those who help and love and serve, you are a journey as well, darling. So let's not forget ourselves. And that is why we started with self. Do you understand? And I think this is very, very pertinent. Any relationship that you have a problem with in your life, do me a favor. Let's do an exercise real quick. Think with me and get your fingers out. How many relationships that you are a part of, whether it's family, friend group, work group, projects, PD, personal development groups, whatever. How many people do you have an issue with? Go ahead and break out them fingers. Is it one person? Is it two people? Is it three people? More fingers than you have on your hand. How many people do you have an issue with? And I mean, even if it's just the slightest issue, because there's something I need you to understand. The one thing that is absolutely true about every person that you are in a relationship with, that you have an issue with, you are part of the issue. Regardless of how you want to shake that off, you are part of the issue. Can you imagine? So I have over maybe like 24 years, 25 years now of work in domestic violence, the awareness and solutions. The solutions is more the last 9 years. Okay. Because I did a whole lot of awareness and a whole lot of helping, but I've started to focus in on solutions really, really hard that last 8-9 years. Y'all, can you imagine what it's like to sit with a woman or a man who has come out of a domestic violence situation and say that to them? Ooh, talk about offended, talking about pissed off, mad. I'm not saying it's your fault. So that's why we are having this conversation and making that distinction. I'm not calling fault on nothing. Are you responsible for anybody putting their hands on you? Absolutely not. They are responsible for their own body and their behaviors. However, I am going to point out, you were present. And this is not saying for those people who were groomed and trafficked and abused in that manner. I get that. I get that. I'm talking to the other us, okay? Those who chose these relationships, chose to stay in these relationships, got caught up in it after being in the relationships. And yes, I know what it is to have someone present themselves one way and turn around and you've got a whole Jekyll and Hyde situation. Been there, done that, divorced. So I am not shooting. I am saying I was present in that relationship, married that man, and I stayed. All right. So I could take ownership and responsibility of how I behaved and how I loved and what I participated with. Get it? And I lose no power. I learn my lessons. And not only do I learn my lessons, I share and get the picture. Okay, so all of that to bring us back to here. You want to create safe space and vulnerability. And when you face to face with those people who need the extra love, be honest. Maybe you don't have that extra love in you, or maybe you got a little bit, or cup of it, or jar of it, or house load of it. And once that's exhausted, you exhausted. And that could be the case. So then it's decision time. Do you want to do what it takes to learn more and to expand your capacity so that you can continue to love and be present? Or do you need to exit in order to preserve you? Because there ain't no shame in that either. All right, so I'm kicking you off with a whole bunch of questions and a lot of stirring in the heart so that we can really teach ourselves how to love. Teach ourselves how to love. And you're getting mostly the basic, you know what I mean? There's some mid and there's some high level in here sprinkled in as well. But at the same time, we got to get to the basics and get to the core. And I fully believe that the core of every relationship you're in is you. Because I'm not going to go and have these conversations with the people you're in relationship with unless you bring them here and play this podcast for them and have them contact me and come work with me too. I'm open to that. Same time, you're here. So you get to do the work. You get to be responsible. Well, I've had this happen too, Jesus. You need to fix, I don't need nothing. Slow pause. Well, that person, don't tell me nothing about that. Same thing I told my kids when they came to tattletale on one another. I'm not hearing that foolishness. Tell me what you did. Tell me who you are. Tell me what you need. Where do you want to grow? What do you want to possess? What life are you looking to live? These are the conversations that I'm interested in because I can help you build that method out and work that path and plan into existence. See? Okay, great. Number 6. Ooh, last one in the water. Release the outcome. Release the outcome. Release it. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Now you're going to make every effort. I trust that. I'm going to believe that you're going to make every effort when you've made your decision to move forward, to grow, and to become, and to love yourself first, and then love those around you. Once you get to that, I believe that you're going to do everything in your power to make it happen. All right. And at the same time, I still need you to release the outcome when you're loving outward. Don't release the outcome with you. You might have to hold on to that. We gonna work with us, right? But when you're working in a relationship, it is important to understand not everyone is ready. Not everyone is ready to move forward. People want to move at their own pace. Folks have a system. This is generally speaking. Folks have a system of habits to keep them in their space of safe. Even if the space is not safe, the system of habits that they've trained around themselves tells them that it is. And some folks are not ready to disturb their routine. Okay, some people are not ready, and it does not matter what the up, down, sideways you say, they just not ready. Okay, and that's fine. Let them not be ready. But if you are, and you've met a moment of impasse, you got decisions to make. Okay? And I'm not going to leave the witness. I'm going to leave that with you and sovereign divine God to handle that. I do want to encourage you. You can't force somebody. You can't force locked doors open. It doesn't work that way. What you can do is you can teach and you can love, and you can guide. And that is what I do. I teach, I love, and I guide. And you can follow safe and sound guidance. That's what you can do. You can participate in that. You can participate in your own rescue, which is something else my mom used to say. I love that. Know when to step back. Okay. I do my job here. I offer you a lesson. Right? I offer you the opportunity to explore, to engage, to grow. I offer you that. But I can't make you. I ain't your mama. I made 6. I made 6 wonderful beings wandering this wonderful earth, and they have multiplied. It's wonderful. Love being a grandma. Same time, I can't make you. Right? I can encourage you. I can admonish you. I can show you that. I can show you that it is a lighter road on that side. I can let you know that when you sit down to learn these keys that I teach, this is simple. This is simple math and growth right here in these podcasts. But when you come behind the podcast into client relationship, baby, it's gold time. It's gold time. So I encourage you to take this because I have given you great, strong keys here that you can put to work that can help make the difference in your life. Ain't you tired? Some of y'all, not everybody. Ain't you tired of being tired? Aren't you tired of fighting with every damn body? Aren't you tired of finding odd and wrong in every human you know? Knock it off. Ain't you tired? Aren't you tired of being tired and upset and exhausted? Aren't you tired of feeling like you need to monitor every situation and protect every relationship and all of that on your back like your God? You are not. You are not sort of sovereign divine. Bless God for that, okay? You are you, strong, beautiful, wonderful, capable, able to make decisions. Strong, beautiful, capable, able to look at yourself and choose you and love you. Back to the beginning. Back to the beginning. Where is your earliest memory that holds a moment, a space, a time of non-love? Where's the first time you can say, I didn't feel loved? All right? Because I promise you there's a world of understanding if you take time with yourself to go back and understand that moment and other moments like it. There's work to do there. And a lot of times doing that work, you will find yourself losing weight in the spirit, losing the change and the stress and the angst that may have kept you company for the majority of your life. I had a beautiful woman, one of my beautiful ladies that came through SXP. Actually, 2 stories. So one, I love her to pieces. She's brilliant and she's bright and she is living her best life in her golden years. She waited 70 something years to live. Don't let it be said of you. Like if you're not at that mark right now, don't let it be said of you that you waited all your life to live, that you waited all your life to do your introspection, that you waited all your life to go back and look and see what is holding you up or what is preventing you or why are you making the decisions you make? Why do you move how you move? Do you know you? Don't let that be said of you. Step 1. That's story number 1. She is beautiful and she is beasting it right now. Story 2. The last evening, Monday night. I sat at a celebration of life story for another one of the women who went through my SXP 3-day training. Beautiful celebration of life. And she too was 72. And I ain't telling you her business, we ain't doing that. But I can share that she shared with me during that 3 days some things that she never spoke to a soul. That is the magic of creating a safe place and adding vulnerability. And I shared with her everything that was in me to share with her. Do you get it? Like give and take. I encourage you to be one brave enough to give you a chance, give you some air, give that in you and out, because it's way more room out than in. I used to hear that concerning tooting, but it still applies right here. Like for real. Way more room out than in. I encourage you by the 2 stories that I just shared. That's your contrast. How are you going to live your days? Nobody actually knows what day. Well, let's take it back. Some people actually do know because I've had some conversations. However, the majority of folks don't take time to know when their exit date is. Okay. They're just living, doing. And then boop, card punched out of here like last year, what's undone? You know what's undone for you. I had a great conversation yesterday with a woman who is doing amazing things, tended to foster care kids, and I mean, just an amazing human. And when I probed and asked her some questions about personal, giving out, showing up, but primary things undone. Is that you? Be honest. Nothing wrong with that. That's the best place to start. Honesty. Okay. So you done got all this gold. I definitely teach lecture style. I encourage you to go back and watch this again. Watch it and take your notes. Watch it once, listen straight through, nothing. Second time through, break out that pen, take your notes. See what highlights for you. Let that mental marker right there. So when you're listening to it the second time through, write it out. Pause. Oh, I love the pause button. Pause and answer the query. Question posed, let me answer it because it's going to build for you some steps to move forward. I see comments. Oops, my bad, y'all. Let me go back. Let's see. I saw the hold on, I just saw this. You're actively writing. Oh well. So, I'm putting these up here so that I can see them when I go back. Yeah, boundaries and modeling, that's what's up. Thank you. What would Jesus do? Jesus would not riot. Well, yeah, there's flipping tables. And yay. Yes, absolutely. And the last one, when I touched it, it goes blue. So it's hard for me to read with it. Receiving has been a problem. Practice receiving, for real, practice receiving. And then it may sound odd. It still lies in what I literally just shared today. If you will go and take that journey inside, if you will go digging, go mining for you, and you will find, and if you listen, I extend the invitation to you. You've not experienced my coaching up close and personal. I encourage you to, because there's breakthrough there, and you will come to understand why it's always been a problem, and not only come to understand it, but dissolve it so that it's no longer a problem. I used to be there. I used to have a hard time receiving. I kid you not. I served till I was blue in the face because I felt like that was mine to do. I was sharing with one of the beautiful ladies last night. There was a church I was a part of, and I saw the work of the pastors. They were present. Went from one service to 3, and they were present. They're early, they're late. And I felt in me okay, you know what? I honor their service and I want to serve. What I did do was I began to serve with them. 1, 2, 3. And I did that for a number of years. Any church I've been a part of, I've served in some capacity, whether it's security or children's ministry or teaching or small groups, yada, yada, yada. I've done. And we won't tell you the end of that story till another time, but the point of it is, serving was never the issue, but receiving was. And I came to a moment, and we'll get to that on the other side of the road, but I came to a moment where it was just clearly pinned to my forehead. Doop, you bugging. Where's your issue with receiving? And I went about the business of learning what that issue was so that I could resolve it and dissolve it and move forward. And I have. So let's chat. I am at 59 minutes and 8 seconds. And there's one more thing I want to share with you before we get out of here. 2 more things. For those who enjoy Juneteenth, happy Juneteenth to you. The celebration continues. I do understand some folks do not care to participate, but let me share a thought. Just a thought. I think it is wonderful to celebrate freedom. I think it is wonderful to really stand in it and see it for what it is. It took years for some folks to get the message that they were no longer slaves. It took military action to free some folks. And not that we are not dealing with oppression and foolery right today. Not that we are not dealing with folks who are choosing to be deaf, dumb, and blind. I get it. But at the same time, celebrate. practice celebration. Build that joy back into our DNA for the children ahead. And that's a whole nother conversation that I ain't jumping into, but happy Juneteenth, one. And then two, to satisfy the rioters, I'm going to share this and then we are truly getting a body here. One moment, please. He loved her while grabbing her body to pull her into loving arms. He loves her while grabbing the headboard. He loved her while choking her gently till the lights went out. No words, no doubt of passive insensitivities. Loved her safest in his mind when she was on her knees or him flat on his back, staring dreamily into eyes. Got the feeling that she danced lively in a world full of danger. Stranger the happenings, the more captivating. His thick hair and comely bulges caused her budget to decrease. Steadily efforts paid to please him, paycheck his being back together. Prayer, positive words, and whatever alabaster box that bastarded-hearted curmudgeon called for or demanded. Silently bewitching pools, wormholes she laced her tongue through. Unknown galaxies awaited, worm on the hook, she baited him with clarity. Oceanic love, skydiving insanity, plunged into her need. His strong arms kept her as she bleed to death. Without him, there's no man left on earth. Amazonian crown, king, queen, royalty, she bowed her head. Crowns rolling off down Brown's legs like meatballs from a top spaghetti. Heavy is the crown. Water, I'm so thirsty now. Help me, she tried to scream out. Only thing is, that's exactly what he was doing. Healing her from life. Bewildered, suffocating, all the knots is not what you think. He only sought to return her life to ink. Rewrite. And maybe next time she'd get it right. Or perhaps not. In body and out, they've been each other's operator. I need a way out for one another. Not just acquainted breaths, but been friend, mother, sister, lover, wife. Elemental air, broken bread, saline, love of my life. Catalyst, antagonist, and prime. Singuloid, that one mind. Yeah, this time, she loved him without grip. She loved him as the stingers pierced daily in and out of her. Allergy, world blurry, and she couldn't see. She loved him through hot to cold, black mold, sweaty walls. Tongue to left and to right, mirrors to souls of soul, dangling disco balls of flashes. Lifetimes hanging walls of memories. Did I find him, or did he find me? Conspiracy. Focus synchronicities to ensure love was rubbed like that wood stump of a famous tree. It's showtime. Legs already broken, so she can't stand. He's already guilty by the placement of his hands, fingerprinted, reminders all over her body, toes to thumb. She inhaled her last breath. Tears rolling down, and he comes. Pleasure, pure agony. He rapid to enter, 3 strokes and he's centered. She's gone from this realm, and he's going with her. Okay. Absolute fun. So that was one of my favorite pieces. I am Lady Molotov when I'm in the poetry streets and recording artist. So if you'd like to play with me those ways, come out and support. I would absolutely enjoy that. I did share a couple of things in the chat that you guys can catch up. My Instagram is Melikia, Melikia Lady Molotov, Molotav. And no, I ain't spelled it wrong. For the special people who keep asking me that. Okay. Check it out, hang out, and I will be throwing details up on Instagram. I will share it on my YouTube as well and on Facebook. So connect with me. LinkedIn might get it, might not, but you can also connect with me there professionally. Okay, darlings. And I gave you the goods and gave you 2 weeks of Teach Me How to Love. And please do not let the conversation pause here. Consider teaching you how to love. What does it mean to you? Take time and examine it, especially if you're a mommy or daddy or auntie, or uncle, do the stepdaddy. That's another one of my favorite pieces, but okay. Anyway, consider that. Consider how you can affect yourself, those around you, and those to come. Love you. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you back here next Tuesday. Now, I am going to be taking a vacation, but I will make sure that you guys have exactly what you need to, and I'll keep you posted on when that is. I will not just disappear. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching and rewatching, and thanks for loving you enough to pull up for you and learn. So important. All right. I get to push more buttons. Let's see. Bye-bye. Button.
BLASTMUSIC247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.